Hello and welcome to TC Sports, the home of the Council Sports Talk. I'm Jacob Butzine alongside Andrew Schultz and Aaron Klinker. Here we're going to debate today. We're going to talk about the MLB playoff predictions, and we're going to talk about a couple of college football games that pique our interest from week 0 and week 1. Just remember, enjoy every second of TC Sports. Andrew and Aaron, how are we doing today?
I'm tired.
Pretty good.
You're tired?
Same here.
Yeah, we're all getting back to school and finishing co-ops, and so we're enjoying our life a little bit. So, boys, well, let's just get started. So let's start with the Major League Baseball American League. Let's do the wild card teams to start out. So this will be 4, 5, and 6. I'll go ahead and start with, let's go from 6, 5 to 4. So my number 6 team is going to be the Baltimore Orioles. My number 5 team is going to be the Seattle Mariners. And my number 4 team is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays. Aaron, go ahead and give us your 6, 5, and 4 of the American League.
Well, as you guys know, baseball is not my forte, but I did a little bit of research on this. So at 6, I have the Twins. At 5, I have the Blue Jays, and at 4, I have the Rays.
All right, Andrew, what do you have in here?
I as well. I'm not the biggest expert on the baseball sport, more hockey and football. But number 6, I'm gonna say the Seattle Mariners break the streak, and they finally get into the playoffs for the first time since before the iPod was released. And then number 5, I'm going to go the Blue Jays. And number 4, the Tampa Bay Rays.
All right. So did we all have the Rays at number 4?
I had the Rays at 4, yeah.
And then Aaron, where'd you have the Rays? Number 4?
Yeah, I have the Rays at 4.
All right. So we're on agreement here that the Rays are going to be the best team that didn't win their division. I think in the AL East, it's a very hard division.
Yeah, Yankees at 75 wins, Blue Jays at 65, Orioles 63, and Red Sox at 60, which is, other than like the Astros, all of those teams would be in contention to win their division. So,
right. I just a little disclaimer: I will not have the Blue Jays in the playoffs. Right now, ESPN has them actually a higher percentage than the Rays. I haven't really looked at the remaining schedule. I mean, we still have lots of baseball left to go. We still have all of September, a little bit of August left, and then a little bit of start of October. So we have a full month to where things could just shift. I mean, who knows? The White Sox to come out of nowhere and make the playoffs. You never know. But as of right now, I don't have the minute.
They're mediocre.
I really enjoy the Orioles. I think they're gonna they were a team that was actually supposed to be one of the worst in baseball. And they've came out of nowhere. They have done well with their very little payroll that they have. And sometimes you're just gonna get that. I mean, that was just the Rays a couple of years ago. You know, the Rays also are still doing it and they don't have a big payroll. But I think the Orioles are gonna hit a hot streak and make the playoffs. Along with the Seattle Mariners, or as I call them, the Seattle Reds. Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez, Luis Castillo. I mean, they've just picked up all of the Reds great players.
Just the farm system for Seattle.
Dude, it's basically just any like Reds player that was like a known name throughout Cincinnati. That's who they have now.
Well, and someone I was talking to actually put it best is like, yes, the Reds traded for all these prospects, but they are a mid-market to low-market team, just like the Tigers, the Orioles, and these teams. Yeah, those teams, the Tigers and the Reds, trade for these prospects, but then right when they're good, they get traded right back because they can never sustain. I think the Tigers more. Tigers and the Reds are hurt specifically since I brought those up because of that big contracts of their first basemen, Miguel Cabrera and Joey Votto. I think once those two are gone from those respective teams, they will. I think they'll start being a rise. But I digress. So Blue Jays. Aaron, why do you? I'm just curious why you have the Twins this low. What were you said number 6?
Yeah, obviously the division they're in is very weak. I would consider that division like the NFC East or like the AFC South of baseball, one of the weaker divisions. But it from just like a strict record perspective, it looks like the Twins are just barely going to sneak in. I could be wrong. Like you said, a lot could happen. They could fall off. But to me, it looks like they're going to win that division, but it's not going to be pretty.
Well, here's the thing. The Twins are 2 out of their division and 3 out of the wild card. So really, they kind of control their own destiny a little bit. The Cleveland Guardians are actually leading that division, which is a very, very, I think it's actually, it's the worst in baseball division. So, the White Sox are 3 out of the division. So really, any 3 of those teams could really make the playoffs. But you never know. Let's go ahead and work on our top 3. So let's just do our 3, 2, and 1. So Andrew, go ahead and start us off with your 3, 2, 1 in the AL.
My number 3, the Twinkies. My number 2, the Yankees. And number 1, Houston.
Aaron, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna get crucified for this, but oh well. So I have the Mariners at number 3. I have the Yankees at 2 and the Astros at 1. The third one is what I thought I was going to get crucified for.
So
the Mariners are 12 games out of their division, so they can't be a top 3 team unless they.
Again, not a baseball expert.
So sorry, who was your 2 and 1? Did you say Yankees and Astros?
Yeah, Yankees and Astros. Those are the very clear, like 1 or 2 in the AL right now.
Oh, I see what you did. Okay, so you just ranked them regardless of division winner.
I did this based off a record. Obviously, I didn't really.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you did now. Okay,
so
I got it.
Top 3. So it's supposed to be top 3 division winners. So,
so he'd have the Twinkies at number 3 instead of the Mariners. Yeah. Just swap them.
Yeah. So I actually have the same as what Andrew has. I have the Twins, Yankees, Astros. I think the Twins are going. For one, I don't like Cleveland in any sport. So, but in a non-biased way, I don't think Cleveland has the depth at all positions like the Twins do. I love the Twins pitching staff. And I granted, the Twins are only 4 games above 500 and are 2 games out of first place. So again, it tells you, Minnesota's not the greatest, but neither is Cleveland, Chicago, Kansas City, or Detroit. So really that's a point. So, not much to talk about. However, I will say the Yankees are going to get bounced out round 1. The Yankees are a hot mess express. The Yankees are hot mess express. I mean, they
did kind of blow it at the All-Star break.
Well, it's not even that. Like, they're paying all these great players. They can spend the money. It doesn't matter. But you are first in your division by 8 games, and your fans and your organization are booing the team based on how they're playing. I understand they're not playing as great as they were, but I'm sorry, no one's going to be as hot as that for a long time. And that's what I don't like about Yankees fans is that reason. As soon as one thing goes bad and doesn't go their way, it's just all downhill. It's like, I always think the Yankees are overrated. So I think they're going to be bounced out round 1 regardless. But that's for another segment. Any of you want to talk more about the American League before we move to the National League?
Nah, I think the Astros are going to win out the American League. That's it. They're just
Yeah, the
they're
Yankees
on
are.
fire. They're pitching. I went to the Angels Astros game. Who was it? Can't remember the pitcher's name, but he just came off like a 15 strikeout game or whatever and struck out like 11 batters on the Angels. He made Mike Trout look like a double-A player, like, and then they have Verlander, and then everyone's
Yeah.
just hitting. As much as I hate them for cheating and all that, but stuff
Well,
like
I mean, at
they're
this
just
point, that was
loaded.
five. At this point, that was 5 years ago, and no one in that organization is the same. So, like, I mean, there are still players that are there, but I think with it, I mean, again, the organization they cheated, whatever. But at this point, it's been 5 years since that's this, right? It was 2017, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2017,
So
2018.
at
So
this
it's
point,
basically
it's not. There's you can't even dwell on it, but
as Rachel Green said in Friends, once a cheater, always a cheater.
they were on a break. So that's for another segment for a different show. All right, let's move to the National League. So, in my opinion, I think the American League is a little more straightforward on who's a pick.
Very much so, yeah.
The National League, though, I mean, we'll get to our number one, but I think 2 through 6 could go anyway. I think it's that close and that competitive in the National League. Not even because I think the National League is more loaded than the American League. The National League is more loaded than the American League.
Yeah.
National League is a bloodbath.
So
The
let's kind of
National
go.
League's top like 7 or 8 are definitely better, but the National League does have the worst team in baseball right now, which is the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh, and we won't go after that. Anyways.
No. Say the team name. Come on, say the team name.
Quiet you, bonk. Quiet you. All right, let's go ahead and
Big
just
red
do.
machines sitting there at 1 game out of last place in their division.
You know what? They're trying. No, they're
Call it
2.5
that.
games long. Quiet you.
They're trying
48
to
wins,
Minnesota, man.
47, basically 1 game.
Quiet you. Let's just do 6 and 5 because I'm curious to know what your 6 and 5 is. So my number 6 is the Milwaukee Brewers, and my number 5 is the San Diego Padres. Aaron, what is your 6 and 5?
Well, once again, I clearly did not have enough insight on this, but I had the Phillies and Padres, but looking at the Brewers record, they could definitely also make the playoffs.
All right, Andrew.
I'm going to go the Phillies at number 6 and the Brewers at number 5.
Okay. So I'm curious to know. Well, I mean, I had Milwaukee at number 6. I mean, right now they're a game. The National League Central is sort of similar to the American League Central in regards to weakness of their conference. However, it's better than the American League, but I just think the Milwaukee Brewers are I think the management is better than in Philadelphia, which is why I think that Philly is gonna not do well this last month of the season. I don't now. They could be getting Bryce Harper back. I am not a Bryce Harper fan, and not even in the slightest. So I don't want him to make the playoffs. But I don't see the Phillies holding on until October, and then being able to compete in October is also not going to happen.
I think
So,
Phillies get in, get bounced first round, which is why I have them at 6 or 5.
right.
Right.
But obviously, it could go either way. So you all had Philly and then San Diego. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
I had.
Well, that's what
I
I
either
said.
had Philly at 6 and Milwaukee at 5. Either way, I think both of them
Okay.
bounced
Okay.
first round.
So you're So from what I'm guessing is you don't have San Diego. Well, hold on. Let's get to that point. Let's do number 4. I have the New York Mets at number 4.
I'm also gonna go the New York Mets at 4, just because I think the Mets can go from being the number 2 team to the number 4 team in a matter of 4 games anyways, just because how close they are. So I'm gonna say the Braves take that division and bump the Mets into the wild card.
Okay, Aaron.
Well, I have the Cardinals at number 4, but like Andrew said, the Mets and Braves are like 2 games apart for the division lead, so it could go either way at this point.
All right, so let's just get this out of the way. We all know who the clear number 1 is. The Dodgers are number 1. They're the number 1 in baseball. They're number 1. There's no doubt about that. But my 2 and 3 are the number 2 is the Atlanta Braves. Number 3 is the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yep, same.
Mine's just the Mets and the Braves.
Well, Aaron, you didn't have anyone from the National League Central making the playoffs.
Yeah, I did at the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals. He put them at like 4. He did by record again, not by division.
All right, well,
division winner.
All right. So, okay. So you're just saying that by record. Well, okay. So by playoff standards, you have the Cardinals or the Brewers winning the National League Central.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, which could happen. I mean, they're 4.5 games back from the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are the better team. I highly dislike everyone in the division as a Reds fan, but the Cardinals are clearly the better team, better pitching staff, definitely better hitters in my opinion. So I definitely think that that's how it's going to go. I mean, at this point, I don't see anyone beating the Dodgers. I mean,
I'm predicting a Dodgers-Astros World Series rematch again. For time in 7 years, it feels like. So,
this is why I love baseball. I mean, us 3 have talked like baseball is, we all have we're all football people. We all know football a lot, but we all kind of branch out to our own sports. Aaron knows more about the NBA. Andrew knows more about hockey, and I know more about baseball, and we all are mutually into football. As a baseball person, like I am just, well, both my teams are awful, the Reds and the Tigers. So it's hard to like baseball right now. And I don't know what the fix is, because at this point, it's whoever spends the most money is going to win. I mean, in football, yeah, it's kind of like that, but with the salary cap, someone could spend $10 million on 5 players and another team could spend $10 million on 1. And the 5 players can outperform the 1 because of the salary cap. Well, in baseball, if you don't spend a 15-year contract worth $600 million, well, then you're screwed because someone's going to pay it. And that's the problem.
So
that's why baseball needs a salary cap.
So for me, I don't think baseball needs a salary cap per se. So
right, but they need something.
Because if they do a salary cap, it's going to ruin baseball. Like people won't be able to afford contracts and all that. What I think they need to do is go into what F1 did, which is introduce a cost cap. So it's not necessarily a salary cap. It's just a cost cap. So like you can't go over this no matter what. And so it kind of balances out. It's similar to a salary cap, but it's not the same way because it takes in all your accounts, not just roster, which is normally what a salary cap is. So a cost cap takes in all your accounts, what you spend on like scouting, all that. So if they do something similar to that, so like F1's cost cap is they have 145 million and they have to split that between their driver salaries. Now, granted, they only have 2 drivers, and then they have to split it with their R&D and all the people they have at their facilities and stuff like that. So I think baseball should do something similar to that, where they say like $250 million is your cost cap or whatever, and then it would divide baseball pretty evenly, I feel like. Now, 250 million is just an arbitrary number, but something similar to that.
Right, but it's
kind of fair for everything, because at the end of the day, all the owners in baseball are pretty much billionaires. So,
well, now the Angels owner is trying to sell it,
and they're going to go for billions because they're in the LA market. And if you have the money, you can do well in the LA market. Now they're out in Anaheim, which is like 45 minutes to an hour, depending if you have light traffic. If you have heavy traffic, it can be 3 days. But
Well, yeah. Well, I looked it up earlier. I believe the Angels were worth 2.2 billion. Well, that's just what they're worth. I bet you it goes for 5. I guarantee it.
Denver
100%.
went for 4.5 million for football. I imagine the LA Angels go for something similar.
4.5 million.
4.5 billion.
Yeah.
Hold on. Speaking of the Broncos, didn't whoever bought them, doesn't he own Walmart or something?
It's the heir of
The
Walmart.
heir to the okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, he's a
But-
partial owner though. Peyton Manning's in that group, so is a couple other famous people.
But
So
either way, that's for a different day. I just think baseball needs to figure it out. I mean, it could just be that my teams are just not successful, but I just think for the sake of baseball. Also, I don't like Rob Manfred.
yeah, Manfred needs to get out for sure.
He is. It's all.
He makes Goodell look like Jesus.
I have an idea. So here's what we do: Roger Goodell, Rob Manfred, death match.
Whoever wins takes over the MLB and the NFL.
Oh dear God, no. No.
No,
He's
both
not
of them are
in the
just out of their
NFL.
jobs. They just have a pay-per-view death match to rouse
Yeah,
the
we have Big Dog as a commentator.
Well, so that wraps up our MLB talk. After this little break, we're gonna get right back to college football. So here's our let's play us out here. All right, and we're back. All right, now we're gonna go into college football. We're getting from MLB to college football here. Week 0 is upon us. And week 1 is also upon us. So we kind of got a lot happening. I know we're all ready for college football. Ready for NFL. We're just ready for some football. Ready for to kind of get back to it. We're gonna highlight 4 games from week 1 that kind of have piqued our interest. So let's just get to it. Our first game we're gonna highlight. We're gonna tell you the teams, we'll talk about it, and then we'll all say our score prediction before we move on to the next team. So let's start with Arkansas versus UC, one of our playoff teams from last year versus an SEC rising team. What do you guys think about this game?
Arkansas by 90.
Not Cats by 90?
No, not Cats by 90. Cats by like 3. I think this is gonna be a close one.
It's in Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm going Arkansas 31, UC 10.
All right. Well, I didn't want to say the scores yet, but that's okay. Let's just go ahead and do it because I think we all know how this is going to play out. I have Arkansas 35, UC 7. This is not going to be a close game. You guys are lucky I haven't had UC scoring a single point.
I don't know why UC is ranked 23. Makes no sense. They've lost all their seniors, all their help. Ritter's gone. Sauce gone. Bryant gone. Is Jerome Ford still there or is he gone?
No, he's on the Browns now.
Okay. He's gone.
Oof.
Alec Pierce gone.
So how many starters are they returning? I can see
So
Aaron just
they have,
there.
half their starters are back, but half their starters are offensive linemen, which is helpful. But their skill positions gone, and gone.
Okay, well, I have this game going UC winning by 3, 27-24.
It's in Arkansas.
Winning 37-34.
27-24.
SEC football is
still
just
have-
different. As much as I hate the SEC I don't really hate them. I respect them, but I just hate that they always get the attention, I guess. But the SEC football is just different. And yes, Cincinnati was there at the end of the year, but they had to be undefeated for 2 years just to even get national attention. And I think Arkansas is just going to show them, hey, this is what SEC football is, just like Bama did. So
Okay, moving on.
UC should just stay home.
So here, So it looks like from what, I looked it up. I didn't look into this beforehand, but I just looked at how many starters is UC football returning. They're returning 5 starters on offense. All 5 offensive linemen are back. That's who's back. Other than that, no one else is back, according to this article. So that's good, at least for the offensive line's sake, but you can block all day. It doesn't mean you can throw it or catch it or run the ball. So putting that out there.
Against those hunters down there. I mean, Arkansas, Traylon Burks literally hunted warthogs in his spare time.
I'm not buying into the Arkansas hype yet. I'm sorry.
I don't think Arkansas is
buy
going to be
into
great
that.
this year. I just think they're better than what UC will be, and I don't think UC will be that great this year.
Look, I'm not saying UC's making the playoffs or anything this year, but I think they're going to barely pull out against Arkansas.
I don't think UC is going to be ranked by the end of the year.
I'm not saying they will or won't. I'm just saying I don't think they're losing to Arkansas. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, hey, I will admit it.
Their schedule is weaker than soggy cupcakes sticking to a door.
Don't know what that means,
Okay.
but right. Hey, but I don't really know the math. There's these articles aren't. I just wanted them to answer my question. It's not happening, but it seems like they're returning half. Not necessarily all defense and no offense, but it seems like 11 players between offense and defense. Which, if you think about it, I mean that's half of your starters.
With all the skill positions.
I'm not.
Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, corner, safety, gone.
I'm sorry, but after the way Ritter played in the playoff game, honestly, I'm glad he didn't try and come back as like a 5th-year senior or something.
I don't think he could have, Kelly. I think he played all 4 years.
Yeah,
Did they come back for a 5th year?
No, COVID was the only reason he could stay another year, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't look into that as much, but
I don't care. It's Cincinnati.
Because frankly, it's UC, and I don't care that much.
All right, let's go to the fun games.
I'm not on the UC. The fun games. This is fun making fun of. I hope Braden watches this. I really do.
Braden, you best show up on time if UC's getting their asses beat.
Well, here's the thing. I bet I'm honestly, again, you guys are lucky I even had UC scoring. You're also lucky I had Arkansas scoring that little.
My brother's gonna be at that game in Arkansas, and he's a UC fan. So
ooh, that is a waste of your money.
That's what I told him. I said, "Why are you driving? Why are you driving 7 hours to go watch your team get kicked on national television?" But it's not even.
Here's the thing.
Well, it's on ESPN, so I mean, it'll be watched by 25 people.
I know this is not a team prediction. What we're doing right now, but UC is going to lose 4 games, and here are their 4 games. Arkansas.
So is Texas. So what's your point?
And
who cares about Texas, dude?
Horns down. They're going to lose to Arkansas. They're going to lose to Indiana. Indiana had a very, very bad year last year. They were on their 6th string quarterback. They're going to lose to Indiana. I'm sorry, it's happening. And I don't care if you say, well, Indiana should win, because that's all UC fans are going to say is, well, we're not a Power 5 school, so why are you happy to be beating us? Well, because you're all on your high horse like Ohio State fans. Anyways.
And like Michigan fans. Oops.
Those are the Kansas.
Third loss, SMU. Third loss, SMU. 4th loss, UCF. And then they're going to beat Navy. They'll beat ECU. They'll beat Temple. They'll beat Tulane because, well, they're
Kennesaw State. They're a real tough competition. That's a high quality opponent right there. Kennesaw State, you can't forget about them.
And more than likely, I will be at the UC Miami Ohio game, because I think Miami Ohio could also beat them. That's such a lie. I don't think Miami has a chance, not even a little bit of a chance. However, love and honor, I can always dream. So
Toledo's upsetting Ohio State. You heard it here first.
All right, let's
be upset when Ohio State bends them over the table.
Daquan Finn about to be the new Lamar Jackson.
Let's move on before these UC fans commenting just absolutely murder us. So we were talking about this during the break. we weren't gonna highlight this team until we just decided today because it piqued our interest at the last second. Utah, Florida. We'll talk about it for a couple minutes, and then I'll go ahead and ask everyone their score prediction. So Utah, Florida. Utah could have beat Ohio State last year in the Rose Bowl. I think they had the team to do it, but I'm not an Ohio State fan, not even close. But that offense is just way too good. However, they couldn't beat Michigan, so clearly wasn't that good.
Oh my God.
But Florida,
Just go back to your cornfield, Kling.
Kansas isn't that far. What do you guys think? What do you think?
All right, so I think Utah is gonna win. But I think it will be a lot closer than people might think. It looks like Utah's a top 10 team right now, according to the stupid AP poll, which means absolutely nothing. And I don't know why we even have rankings till the college football committee decides to rank teams, but that's just the AP, and who cares about their opinions, because it frankly just doesn't matter. But Florida is a mid to upper tier SEC team. They're always kind of right there. Georgia has been their daddy for a little while now. But I mean, Florida is still consistently solid to good. And it's in Florida in the swamp. So I think it's a test for Utah. We really will see if Utah gets, scared of the bright lights. I think it'll be an interesting game. It'll be a test for Utah's quarterback. I think it'll be interesting, but ultimately I think Utah wins it like 35-24, something like that. I think it'll be a fun game. I think it'll be a little bit of an offensive shootout.
All right. Okay. I will say FPI has Florida 52.1% chance of winning to Utah 47.9. But Utah's a 2.5-point favorite. So I think from that, the experts are like, we don't know. We're just going to give them 2.5 just so they can make their money. And then FBI is going to say this so that everyone just gives all the money to that game because, well, why not? Aaron, go ahead. Aaron, go ahead, but don't say your score prediction quite yet. So go ahead and let's hear what you have to say about that.
If you ask me, going off of what the FPI thing you just mentioned, and what was the other one you were looking at?
The FPI is
and then the over under was 2.5.
Honestly, I could see this game going with a score differential of like from 15 points to like 3. This is going to be a really fun game. I don't think Florida is going to be as bad if people think that they're going to be bad this year. I think they've got something going down there, but it's gonna take like maybe another year, possibly.
Yeah, all the cocaine from the Miami boats, but whatever.
Oh shoot.
Gainesville is very nice. I drove through it on the way down to Tampa. It's a very nice city.
I have heard that Florida's campus is just all
it's
that.
Nice. It's nice.
Oh, I don't doubt it. They're a Southern school. They make all the money.
Right in the middle of the Everglades, though. But that's why they call it the swamp.
All the Gators.
It's a very nice campus.
The only thing that isn't beautiful is watching them play football. So there's that.
Oh, we had Tim Tebow.
That was 12 years ago. Get over it.
Here's the thing is here's the thing with this is Utah. The only reason I think this game has any hype is because of how high ranked Utah is. If Utah was outside the top 10, actually probably more outside the top 15, I don't think anyone would care. The fact that Utah's number 7 is what I think makes this game to watch. Because, I mean, if Florida and Utah were playing and both were unranked, I feel like no one would care.
I think it would still be a fun game to watch, though, especially since it's at night.
Absolutely.
It's in that in-between period between the big primetime game and it's going to be right when the the afternoon snooze fest games end.
Yeah. However, I'm not really on the Utah hype. I'll be honest, I don't really know. I mean, if someone can explain to me, that'd be great. I don't understand why they're so highly ranked.
They have a good offensive line. They run the ball very well. They play good defense. Do not take the Rose Bowl as an example. If you do, I will hunt you down. I will find you, and I will make sweet love to your mother.
Your Honor,
They had a backup running back play corner against their wide receiver because all the corners were hurt. They get all those corners back this year.
They all wore the brown pants for that game.
That they did.
I
Just
don't
like
have that
Ohio
many
State wore the
corners.
brown
So
pants
you're all
when
gonna
Aiden
have to
Hutchinson
share.
showed up.
I have all these cornerbacks. You're all gonna have to
I
share.
only have one corner, so you're gonna have to share.
That's essentially what it was. It was the dude was a backup running back, and they said, you know what, we had nothing else, so you're their best corner in practice. So that's why Smith and Jigba went off for 200 and something yards because A, he's the only wide receiver on that roster, and B, it was a running back.
Here's the thing with that is I'm not using the Ohio State game as an example. I will never ever because that game was just a shootout. But
Fun shootout.
And Ohio State, again, their offense, they had two wide receivers that they both went in the first round, if I remember correctly.
Yep, Chris Olave and
Top
Garrett
15, both of them, actually.
So I'm just not on the Utah hype. I mean, I could go out there and play good defense in the Pac-12 and the Big 12. I'm sorry to say it. But I will say that in Utah counteract with I think Utah has a mediocre defense, but a above par offense, which is why they'll be successful in that conference. Aaron, what's your score prediction for this game?
So I have Utah winning by 3 with a score of 45-42. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a very high scoring shootout. And yeah, 45-42.
Well, you better go ahead and put all your life savings on it because that's right now -2.5. So you better get on that. Andrew, can you go ahead and just refresh what your score prediction was?
Oh, yeah, I had Utah, what was it, 35-24. I think Florida makes a late game turnover, which causes Utah to pull ahead by 2 possessions. And then I think they'll get off to a slow start just because it's the first game of the year.
I think it's going to be a 1-possession game until the very end. I actually think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I have Florida winning this 24-17. I'm giving them the edge, Florida, because of it being in the swamp. And they have had, well, whenever the schedule was officially made, they have, football ended in January. They've had from January until that game to prepare for Utah. I don't know who the head coach is because I believe Dan Mullen's not there anymore. I believe he got fired, if I remember correctly, right? Actually, let's just see who their new coach
Did he
is.
get fired? I thought he was still there.
I'm pretty sure Dan Mullen got. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, Billy Napier.
Yep,
that's the season. He
Yeah,
was
that
from where was he from? I remember this now. It was he was at Louisiana, that's what it was. He was a part of that Louisiana
the Raging Cajuns or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember that. They were, yeah.
So now this could easily go the other way. I could easily flip the scores and it wouldn't matter. But you never know, and that's what we're picking with. So after week 1, we'll go back and see who had the better record of these 4 games. And I hope it's me. Anyways, all right, let's move on to Georgia, Oregon. Let's talk about it a little bit, and then I'll go around and ask you all for your predictions at the end of the talk before we move on to the next team. Georgia, Oregon. Aaron, you want to go ahead and start us off with Georgia, Oregon? Tell us what you think. Just wait until your prediction at the end.
I'm not exactly sure how many returning starters Georgia has because they had a lot of guys going in the draft this year. I know Oregon has kind of I think Oregon, if I remember correctly, because I remember talking about him or talking about Oregon in the last video,
Right.
as if I'm trying to think. Honestly, I can see Georgia pulling away early. Not going to say my score, but that's who I got.
All right. Andrew, just talked
Georgia
about.
early and often.
All right. Well, I think my score prediction, what it is actually closer than what I think it's going to be. But I'm gonna, with it being the first game, in Georgia losing almost all of their defense. I don't trust Oregon, not even in the slightest. However, they did just get a new coach, so that could help or just demolish the program. I Here's the thing: is it's on a neutral site. It's literally in Atlanta, Georgia. So
That's not very neutral.
it's in the Falcons Stadium, I believe.
Athens is not that far
yeah.
from Atlanta.
This
It's
is
in
like a
Mercedes
23 blown lead.
That's like
It's Mercedes Benz. So
it's similar to Ann Arbor and Detroit. It's really not that neutral.
So I don't think there's much to say really about this. I think, it's a big game. I always think Oregon's overrated to start the year every year. It doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and do Aaron, Andrew, and then me saying our predictions. Aaron?
I got Georgia winning 35-13.
35-13. Andrew?
I'll be wrong, but
Georgia 56 to Oregon 7.
Jeez. I have Georgia 42, Oregon 24. Like I said, I just don't see Oregon winning this game. It's really hard for me to even think about that, especially the year Georgia just came off. But I don't think Georgia will ever lose more than 3 games.
I think Georgia until number 3 is gonna piss them off.
Until Kirby Smart goes to the NFL.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Bama has no business being number 1.
Bama should be like number 3. I'm sorry.
Should be Georgia 1, Bama 2. End of discussion.
I would say it should be like 10. Anyways,
just
kidding.
Just for that, Michigan needs to be unranked.
Good. We'll do what we did last year. Start unranked and make the playoffs. Does that make you happy?
All right.
All right. So let's move on now to probably the game of the week. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Just as a disclaimer, Andrew and I are Michigan fans. We are not trying to be biased. We just know this is Aaron off by saying we hate Ohio State. I will always be unbiased when talking about teams. However, when 2 of my rivals are playing, I don't really give a rat's ass who wins this game, because either way, one of them's losing too. So, sorry, pardon my French, but I do not see Notre Dame hanging with Ohio State. Now, I'm not saying that Notre Dame is necessarily going to get blown out. I think at least I think they'll be blown out by the end. But I think it'll be a close game to start, because everyone always starts slow to start a season. I don't really know how this hype around Ohio State is going to go. Clearly, they've gotten a lot of hype from their offense and their defense getting better. I don't know, though, losing 2 first-round wide receiver picks. It really could go either way, but I'll hold up my score prediction to hear what you guys have to say about this game. Aaron, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm not one of those Ohio State fans. You guys know this. I might say some stuff that might be a little outrageous about Ohio State, but I look at this from a face value. I don't trust Ohio State's defense. I do not trust them. Obviously with I don't even want to mention that game last year and the Utah game, which they honestly, how they give up that many points to Utah blows my mind. But I think this is going to be a shootout. I'm not saying Notre Dame has this high-powered offense. I'm not saying they do.
Wait, hold on. This just in. Hassan Haskins scored again. Okay, anyways, carry on.
Okay. I'm going to do my best not to. All right. But like I said, I don't trust Ohio State's defense. Guess I've one good year.
You're a Vikings fan. Move on.
One good year.
Yeah.
One good game against Texas.
Oh, Miss Piggy, they had one good year.
Kansas
Anyways,
has
sorry.
one good game in the last 15 years.
Anyways, shut up. Anyways, bottom line, I don't trust Ohio State's defense. I think they're going to pull away, but I'm not going to buy into their defense until I see it on the field. Well, on TV on the field, but you know what I mean.
Could be worse. Could be a Clemson fan.
What? Clemson?
Clemson.
Hey,
Oh,
I will
I
always
so-
respect
Why don't you
Clemson.
get me started on them?
He's fired.
I hope Georgia Tech just spanks them
They're not going.
around.
I'm sorry, they're not going to.
I mean, it's in Mercedes Benz. So Georgia Tech, I guess, has a
Tech in the state of Georgia. Okay, it's all Georgia. You want to talk about a rivalry? That's not a rivalry. Look at Georgia Tech.
honestly, you could say I'm actually hold on. I don't actually know if this is, but as far as I know, it's not really a rivalry anymore. Let's see here.
They still play every year.
No, I'm not talking about Georgia Tech. I'm talking oh, okay. So I was wrong. I was talking about the Clemson, South Carolina, but actually Clemson holds it looks like it holds the rivalry. It looks like hold on, let me see here. Clemson leads at 72-42. Oh my lordy. Well, I thought South Carolina ruled, but they must have just ruled for the time that they had their winning coach. But before we get off too much off topic, Andrew, what's your prediction for the OSU Notre Dame game?
I think the score will say the game is a lot closer than it actually was.
Like 42-27.
I will say I am solely rooting for Ohio State simply because they're in the same conference as Michigan.
Whoa! Hold on. Woo.
I'm actually with him on this.
Say that again. Say that again. Xbox, record that shit. Say that again.
I am with him on this
However,
one.
Notre Dame did chicken out of the rivalry against Michigan. And I hate Notre Dame for being that one independent team in college football because they think they're better than everybody else. So
Hey, they had the power.
I hope Notre Dame gets pounded. But
The
I
Big
think
Ten just sold the NBC.
score-wise, Notre Dame will make it look a lot closer than the game actually was.
I'm with you on this one. Well, Aaron, you want to go ahead and say your score prediction?
I think Ohio State is going to win 35-30.
Ooh, man, has it close.
Because I don't trust their defense. Anyways, continue.
Fair point. I also have OSU winning this game for two reasons. One, Notre Dame beats Ohio State. It's cupcake the rest of the way. Well, except until they play Clemson, but it's cupcake the rest of the way. And if they beat Ohio State, they're going to be in the talks all year just to join again in the playoff and get smacked again because that's just what happens.
They're going to get bent over by Alabama in the playoffs.
I want Notre Dame out of the picture after week 1 because Ohio State has many other teams that they have to get through, especially that one during Thanksgiving weekend, which everyone thinks is both teams are going to be undefeated going into that game, which would be another game of the century, which would be great.
I hope it happens again.
I have Ohio State winning 49-27. to 14.
Wow.
Notre Dame is always overrated. So, however, Notre Dame could score more. But I think it's gonna get. I think it actually what I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be 21-14 OSU at the end of the first half. Ohio State gets the ball again, and then Notre Dame starts making mistakes because they can't hold with them, and then it gets out of hand.
I think Ohio State wins 45 to Notre Dame's 31.
And then Brian
I
Kelly
think
comes
that
back to Notre
31,
Dame
they're
and
going to
starts
get a
getting on the field.
garbage time touchdown at the end of the fourth due to Ohio State not caring anymore. I think Ohio State will be up 2 possessions almost the entire game.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting.
With Kyle Hamilton gone, new head coach. I'm not sold on Ohio State's defense, but all Notre Dame has is a tight end. They have a solid offensive line, but new head coach, it's tough. He is within the program, so it's not like a huge change.
Right. Well,
Notre Dame has no business being in the top 5.
Well, boys, this is going to conclude our episode here. Our plan is for all you viewers. Next time we're going to kind of review week 0 of the college football season, kind of just preview a little bit again of week 1, and then every week we'll try to give you a recap and then our predictions of the upcoming week. NFL season starting, so we'll kind of get that. So we're going to kind of get away from baseball and basketball a little bit until the playoffs start and kind of get hit hard on football until then. So we'll see you next time on TC Sports, and we're going to get out of here.